In this episode of the Hoard Dairyman podcast, we're covering women in agriculture and specifically taking a closer look at women's roles in the dairy industry. To guide us on this discussion today is a woman who doesn't forget her roots and the mentors who helped her along the way to some incredible roles in agriculture. We're back with Krysta Harden, the U.S. Dairy Export Council President and CEO. Krysta, I want to say thank you for being here and for joining this discussion that is near and dear to us as two women in agriculture who had the privilege of growing up on a farm. The UN has declared 2026 the International Year of the Woman Farmer.
Yay!
Yay! This is an exciting designation, especially if you think about the role women play around the globe in all types of farming on really every continent. Can you tell us a bit about what USDEC is planning to do to help celebrate this year-long event?
I certainly will, and I'll go back just a little bit because I think it really is important to know that this took a long time to happen, and the U.S. was the leader. Some of the discussions started along these lines. Even when I was at USDA a while back, it was carried on, and Alexis Taylor, who was Undersecretary for Trade in the last administration, really spearheaded this effort to build a coalition around the world to support this at the UN. These things don't just happen. You don't just, somebody at the UN say, oh, it's going to be the year of the International Woman Farmer. It takes a lot of work in coalition building, sponsorship, a lot of just awareness building for this kind of thing to happen. And, you know, countries came together under Alexis and the U.S. government's kind of lead to say, this is a group that we haven't honored. We honor rural women, we honor other groups, you know, but we've never got so narrow to look at the contributions of women farmers. And for the UN, for the world to say, you are appreciated, you are valued, you are seen, and you are heard, and we're not going to take you for granted anymore. It is raised by a strong mother who was 16 when I was born. And, you know, knowing of her contributions to our family, our farm, our success, and to me and my sister, is for her too. It's for moms, it's for sisters, it's for grandmothers, it's for partners, it's for spouses, it's for workers everywhere. And I am just so gratified that we're finally saying thank you to this group of people. Half of the world's population are women. So many involved in farming who don't get the credit. Some can't read, some can't write, some cannot own their land, can inherit their land. They cannot get credit. Things in this country we just laugh at, really, you know. So I'm very, very, very pleased that we are finally saying thank you to this group of people who help nourish their families and others. USDEC, we're going to do it's kind of what you're doing, a little podcast for a 15-minute podcast where we're going to recognize women around the world. Certainly, I'm going to highlight my farmers here. You can bet on that. But we're also going to highlight women from around the world and have conversations with them, how they got into agriculture, how they got into dairy. So it will be an international, forum. We're joining other groups and led by Farm Bureau in a conference next year that's going to have one rich, I think, knowledge sharing, networking opportunities to really focus on this International Year of the Woman Farmer. We're going to do a number of things, small things, big things. Again, dairy's such a leader, and having leaders, women farmer leaders, it's kind of easy, from my seat because I have it. I mean, they're here. I'm not going looking. I could do a conversation every day with a U.S. dairy farmer, woman farmer. I mean, that's how lucky we are. But I want to make sure that we're recognizing women around the world and their struggles and kind of identifying the things they have in common with the women here or with their partners in other countries, but also those opportunities. I did this work at a lot of different levels, and every job I've been in, I have taken time to make sure that we're recognizing women's contributions, not just in the U.S., but around the world. I've met with governments, fought for their rights a number of times in whatever hat I was wearing to make sure that, again, their contributions to to this great industry, to food production, to feeding, nourishing the world.
I just want to give you a moment to leave listeners with any final thoughts.
Take note that 2026 is the year that we're long overdue, as you said, recognizing the contributions of our women farmers and just saying a simple thank you sometimes to somebody in the feed store or in a meeting to say, hey, I know how hard you work and I appreciate you doing that. I hope that's what we're going to be amplifying across the world next year. And thank you. Thank you always. It's been a lot of fun for me.
This is fantastic. So thank you. This has been a great conversation and a chance to reflect on, what has changed, but also looking ahead to 26 when we can recognize the women farmers around the world. So, well, you've been listening to Krysta Harden, the U.S. Dairy Export Council President and CEO. Thank you for joining us, Krysta. There's a lot to be excited for the future.